I was heading about an hour north of Elliott Lake, kind of into the Algoma Headwaters region. This area is rather unique in Ontario in the sense that it's got some fairly noticeable elevation changes and plentiful blue, crystal clear lakes. It's a bit more reminiscent of, the west coast of Canada for, being situated in Ontario, I guess. I was heading up some trails to kind of access an area of kind of blue, crystal clear water lakes. I crashed the night in my truck, was having some breakfast, getting stuff ready. I had about a week of time to my disposal for once in my life. First portage made me kind of understand that this route and area is not very well traveled, and alerting me of the level of difficulty I was going to embrace, kind of embarking further into this journey here. So I was fairly well equipped here with different fishing gear, medium light rod with primarily trolling, different spoons and spinners, as well as a full sink line fly rod for kind of trolling and maybe stripping different kind of streamer patterns. I think the big thing is it is still kind of near the end of summer, early fall, so water temperatures aren't that cold yet, and fish are likely down at least 15, 20 feet deep. So it's important to kind of have a setup that gets you in that strike zone. Started today, I had a grueling portage bushwhack. Pretty much, the portage was non-existent. There was a few flag markers, but yeah, it's one thing when you have like, a 1 kilometer portage, through Algonquin or something is not that bad, but when it's through rugged bush and boulders and fallen trees and you don't know where to go, that's a tough time. I eventually made it into quite a large lake system here. Spent a lot of time trolling, trying to get deep, seeing if I might get a lake trout or something, but didn't have much luck. Found a bit of a beach site, crashed there, spent a bit of time relaxing in the morning, then took off around noon to a bit of a well-known waterfall in this area. In the springtime, I would anticipate the fishing here could be decent. In the fall, summer, this receives some of the outflow and the warm water from the top surface of the lake. So I'd be quite certain fat trout would, it doesn't provide, the necessary kind of quality of water fat trout need to survive. Took on a risk and I was trying to get into some very minimally traveled lakes that apparently held brook trout. Absolutely no portage. Myself just trying to figure a way into these lakes, and that was kind of the point of the journey, was to kind of have that creative aspect of finding my way into the lake. So you can see here how many times I went back and forth trying to make a portage. I got into the lake and I tried fishing, and I just, the mission had failed. Just no fish, unfortunately. But hey, now I know never to go back there ever in my life again. Next morning, I was kind of struck inbound inside my tent due to some casual rain. As a result, there was a large specimen of a moose slowly pondering towards my camp. I had to essentially claim my ground and tell him to F off. Today was basically going to be a ton of portaging, and these were some pretty brutal, physically demanding portages. Not a ton of footage to illustrate it, but yeah, this was rough. Day 5, 6 here, covered a decent amount of water, that's for sure. Fished a lot. Really only caught one brook trout on the very first day. Nothing for the rest of the trip, which is, that's just how it goes sometimes. These last portages, definitely tough. Couldn't find even the portage for a bit there, but we eventually made it back. We were headed en route to sleep in my truck for the night. That's it. That was 1 week spent in the bush exploring one of the most beautiful areas I know in Ontario.